I have the privilege, and I want to thank the Attorney General for standing here with her to talk about something really, really important to us, how to attack gun violence. I'm also asked to give some local perspective. I have the honor of representing a lot of persons who are literally boots on the ground. And we're trying to fight, and we've been trying to fight, and we have a lot of friends doing that. And you can see some of our friends are behind us, some of our friends are scattered around the room. It's a battle. It's an ongoing battle, and we've had some success. And of course, I'm talking about crimes committed with illegally obtained handguns and crimes committed with handguns. So to my left and to my right is a snapshot of homicides in Allegheny County in 2023. It phases in initially. The 9 homicides are not related to the use of a gun. The other homicides are related to that. The numbers are a little bit skewed because as a trauma center, we take patients from outside of Allegheny County. So I believe that 100 residents of Allegheny County died from gun violence or homicides last year. Half basically were in the city of Pittsburgh, half were in Allegheny County. You can see primarily we're talking about the city of Pittsburgh and towards the eastern sections of Allegheny County. You fish where the fish are. We spend a great deal of time in those areas. We exercise a great deal of our assets. The second series of photographs depicts some of the scope of what we're battling against. Every year for the last 10 years, we've taken 3 tons of handguns off the streets, and we've taken 2 tons of narcotics. That's a plug for Universal Steel and Carnegie. They were our partners in that particular matter. We also have partners in UPMC. They handled the drug burn. Center for Victims is here today. She's another partner in our fight against violent offenders. With persons like Michelle Henry and with persons like those who preceded her in the Attorney General's office, there's a magic to her, certainly, about bringing people together. And we do it very well in Western Pennsylvania. She's been doing it well all over the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and we're proud that she's brought some of her ideas, some of the most innovative things that she's going to talk about in a minute. The third series I want you guys to think about is violence against children or violence directed at older members of our community. Irrational violence. We had someone beaten in the cultural district the other day, he was 71 years old. Talk about the death of a child. 4 blocks from here in Market Square, which is the heart of our city. A child was murdered by 2 people who we convicted of first-degree murder, which is some consolation to the loss of a child, but not very much. We had to put into evidence this graphic. The red lines struck its target, which was that baby that was sitting in a secured seat in the back of the car. I want to commend the Pittsburgh police because after this happened, what they did is we took the fight back to the neighborhoods because this was a fight between drug conspiracies. And we said, don't let them bring this downtown and don't let them hurt innocent people anymore. And Pittsburgh police took the challenge and they went back to the neighborhoods and they did a really, really good job with that. We had an incident at Kennywood Park, one of the most valued regional assets that we have in Pennsylvania, but certainly in Western Pennsylvania. And the situation with weapons being on that campus had become less than tolerable from a public safety perspective. And we did something about it, but the first phone call I made was to our friends in the state police who have an elite squad who came in and helped us to make sure that that park was safe as a family venue and safe for the children and families, hundreds of thousands of people who visit Western Pennsylvania. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your efforts in that regard. We took a weapon off that campus in connection with this particular crime. That weapon had been modified to be a machine gun. It's a 9mm weapon with a simple device that's unfortunately very inexpensive. You turn that into a very destructive weapon. Brett Wittenberger at the County Academy was kind enough to have his firearms trainer demonstrate what this weapon can do. Now the weapon in the Kennywood scenario malfunctioned. Had it functioned properly, that's the type of carnage that we've been fighting against, that the ladies and gentlemen behind me and the ladies and gentlemen scattered around this room have been fighting. In spring and early summer of 2001, the General and I had a chance to talk. We started a collaborative relationship in the Mon Valley. These are statistics. We treat cases as people, but for purposes of today, the statistics show that in the Mon Valley and the eastern sections of Allegheny County, it is worth taking a much better shot at crime out in that area, but we need partners. And so Michelle was one of the first persons to step up and say, hey, we can partner. From the day that we talked about this, 9 communities immediately that are affected by crime in that area came forward and said, we would like to be part of that task force. And the Allegheny County Police and the Port Authority and the Sheriff's Department, who are partners with us all the time, were there, as was the FBI and the ATF. And by the way, when we started talking about machine guns, the ATF was the first to stand with me and talk to the public and tell these young people, and these are young people, that you use this weapon and you take a life. Under federal law, you could be looking at the next 40 years of your life in prison. Please don't do that. The results are not good, and they're certainly not good for you. And we've suppressed a lot of that violence, and I'm going to thank the ATF and the FBI for their efforts. Although we've seen a great deal of success, the business of drugs is just much too lucrative. We take somebody off, somebody takes their place. Law enforcement can only do so much. These are societal issues that go way above our pay grade. But 2023 started very badly for us. As a community, certainly as a law enforcement community, the last thing that Chief Justin McIntyre saw before his death, and he was trying to apprehend this man, he had a taser in his hand. This guy was lying in wait, and he came out from a hidden area, and he took the chief's life. That set the pace for 2023. This guy, who's out of the city of Pittsburgh, was up in the Allegheny Valley selling guns. One of those guns is a modified weapon, modified to be a machine gun. He escaped from the Allegheny Valley. State police gave chase on the Parkway. He wound up in the city of Pittsburgh, where the city of Pittsburgh professionals took over from there. He engaged in a gun battle using a machine gun. An officer was struck, fortunately was not hurt in the city of Pittsburgh, and this person lost his life for the crimes he committed that day. Michelle, she has done wonderful things about going to the source of the crimes. I can show you how we react to crime all day. But she wants to do a better job in taking the guns out before these illegal weapons are used in the commission of a crime.